This was never supposed to happen. The uncle that became a father, and the boy he raised, preparing to kill each other. Not because they hated one another, quite the opposite. That was what made it so difficult. They stood on opposite sides because duty had finally become stronger than love. But how does a national hero become an outlaw? How does the man who saved an entire island become one of its greatest threats? The answer has nothing to do with Jin losing battles. It has everything to do with becoming too successful. This is the first law of power. Never outshine the master. Long before he became the ghost, Jin Sakai was everything Lord Shimura wanted him to be. Disciplined, loyal, honorable. Basically, if Lord Shimura owned a refrigerator, Jin's portrait would have been right in the middle. Shimura did not merely see Jin as a soldier. He saw him as his son, and the future of Clan Sakai. Then the Mongols invaded Tsushima. The samurai gathered at Komoda Beach and prepared to meet them with honor. They announced themselves, charged directly at the enemy, and expected courage to carry the day. The Mongols responded with explosives, fire, and absolutely no interest in following samurai etiquette. It was less of a battle, and more of a very violent demonstration of why predictable strategies are dangerous. By the end of the attack, nearly every samurai on the beach had fallen. Jin survived, but the man who rose from that beach was no longer certain that honor alone could save his people. Lord Shimura believed the samurai code had to survive, even if the samurai themselves did not. Jin reached a different conclusion. A code that prevented him from saving innocent lives was no longer enough. So Jin began doing what a traditional samurai would never do. He attacked from the shadows. He used stealth, deception, and fear. And when necessary, poison. To the samurai, these methods were dishonorable. To the Mongols, they were terrifying. Imagine watching your friend walk around the corner, hearing one quiet whistle, and never seeing him again. At that point, I would not be requesting reinforcements. I would be requesting a boat. Jin's methods worked. One village became 2. 2 became 10. And with every victory, stories about the ghost traveled farther. Some said he could disappear into smoke. Others believed he could defeat an entire army alone. The stories were not always accurate, but accuracy was no longer the point. Jin Sakai was becoming more than a man. He was becoming a symbol. And symbols are powerful because people can follow them. Jin never asked the people to worship him. He never declared himself ruler of Tsushima. But intention is not always what frightens those in power. Perception is. To the villagers, the ghost was proof that they did not have to wait for their rulers to save them. To the shogun, that lesson was dangerous. Because once ordinary people learn that authority can be defied, they may begin to wonder which other commands deserve to be questioned. Lord Shimura understood exactly what was happening. He still loved Jin, but he also served the shogun and the system Jin had begun to undermine. Shimura offered Jin one final escape. Blame someone else. Abandon the ghost. Return to the samurai. Jin refused, because accepting Shimura's offer would mean betraying the people who had trusted him. Then the shogun delivered his judgment. Jin Sakai was stripped of his title. His estate was taken. The ghost was declared an outlaw, and Lord Shimura was ordered to kill the son he had raised. When Jin and Shimura finally met, Shimura explained why the ghost could not be allowed to continue. The ghost was an outlaw. He taught our people to defy their leaders. That single accusation reveals the true reason Jin had become dangerous. It was not merely what he had done to the Mongols. It was what he had taught the people of Tsushima about power. And so, the man who had saved Tsushima was forced to fight the man who had taught him how to protect it. Neither fought with hatred. Every strike carried years of love, pride, and regret. The hardest battle was against the one he never wanted to fight. Jin did not outshine Lord Shimura by being richer. He did not outshine him by holding a higher title. Jin outshined him by becoming the person the people trusted most. Shimura represented authority. Jin represented results. And when people must choose between the person with permission and the person who actually saves them, permission begins to look far less impressive. This is where the first law becomes uncomfortable. The law does not say that Jin was morally wrong. It explains why those above him reacted as though he were dangerous. Power rarely judges you only by your intentions. It judges what you could become. Jin did not plan a revolution, but he proved that one was possible. In real life, this law does not mean you should hide every talent you possess. It means you must understand the insecurities of those above you. Let your victories strengthen their position whenever possible. Give credit strategically. Make your value obvious without making your superior feel replaceable. Because the moment your success becomes their humiliation, your greatest supporter can become your most determined enemy. Jin Sakai defeated an invading army. He saved countless lives. He gave ordinary people the courage to fight for themselves. And that was precisely why the shogun could not allow him to remain powerful. Jin's greatest victory was not defeating the Mongols. It was changing what the people believed was possible. Before the ghost, they believed power belonged to warriors, lords, and rulers. After the ghost, they understood that power could belong to anyone brave enough to act. Jin did not steal Lord Shimura's title. He became greater than the title itself. He did not conquer the shogun's throne. He conquered something far more powerful: the loyalty of the people. And once a man becomes more trusted than the system he serves, he is no longer seen as a servant. He is seen as a replacement. That is the tragedy of Jin Sakai. He did everything necessary to save his home and became too powerful to be welcomed back into it. He saved Tsushima as Jin Sakai, but he changed it forever as the ghost. Law number 1. Never outshine the master. Become valuable, become capable, become impossible to ignore, but never become so threatening that the person above you decides you must disappear. Because in the game of power, winning the battle is only half the challenge. The other half is surviving your victory. Which fictional character should enter the playbook next? Leave your choice in the comments, subscribe, and prepare for law number 2.